Hey folks, Mike from LI Flies Mike here, and today we're going to be tying a variation of a fly we've covered before, the V-tie crab fly that I have here on the channel, but we're going to be tying a sand flea or mole crab variation. As always, the full list of materials will be down in the description below. So we're going to be using a Gamakatsu SL12S big game hook, a size 1/0 here, but you can obviously scale this up or down as much as you'd like. And we're going to be using some large hairline dubbing brass eyes here, and these are coated in a hot orange. So what we're going to do is secure the eyes here with just some figure eights, and you can see something that I've picked up over the years is just doing some round wraps around the base of the eyes, as well as mixing in some figure eights really helps secure those eyes down. So now we're going to be taking some silly legs here. These are silly legs or Loco Legs. These are technically Loco Legs that I got from saltwaterflies.com, but we're going to be using the shrimp orange color here to kind of go with the orange that matches the egg color on the sand fleas or mole crabs. Now they don't necessarily have long legs, but we're just trying to add some material to kind of stimulate a response from the fish, a strike, right? So to go along with that, to get some more movement and to get a nice transition between the synthetic material we're going to be using here soon, we're going to take some tan Marabou or any color you like. Again, you can switch the colors on this. This makes a great regular crab fly as well, but we're going to go ahead and just add some tan Marabou, making sure that we don't cover up our silly legs. So now the main body of this fly is going to be made up of two materials, and the main material we're going to be using is EP fiber. And I have some white here. It's always a good idea to brush out the EP fiber before you work with it. And then I'm going to take three colors here. This kind of like a clear polar bear-esque sort of EP fiber, some tan, and some white. And I'm just going to blend these together to try and get a nice sand flea color. Now something that's different from the normal V-tie crab fly you've seen me do here on the channel, and something that we came up with on stream, I just kind of had an idea. And I figured this would be a nice change. We're taking some Astaz here, and this is some bright orange Astaz. And what we're going to do is tie this in, and the main body of the fly here is made up of V-ties. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a wrap of Astaz in between or before each V-tie. So all I'm going to do here is wrap the Astaz, one single wrap, and tie that off. And then we can go ahead and take a section of EP fiber, just kind of showing you how much I use. We're going to end up trimming this. You can always thin it down so you use less material and end up trimming less. But just for purpose here, you can see how much I usually use when tying these. So again, after you take the EP, we're just going to tie it directly in the middle, offset it. This is how you tie a V-tie, and then fold it back. And when we fold it back, essentially forms the shape of a V, making sure our material is even. And all we're going to do is pull that back and then tie directly on top of it. So when we're done, the tie has the shape of a V. It allows us to build the profile of the body. And you can see how we're just tying the material on top, technically. Well, I guess it would be the underside of the hook. But with those lead eyes or brass eyes on there, it's going to flip the hook over. So by tying that EP fiber on top, it's going to help turn the fly over, as well as change the way that it's going to swim. But so essentially now all we do is work our way up towards the brass eyes, and when we get to the brass eyes, we're going to do one more V-tie, and then after we do the V-tie, we're going to do about 2 wraps, or about 1.5 wraps I should say, because you do one wrap right behind the eye, and then we do one more and finish it off on top. So this is a good way to transition and tie off this crystal flash and get it up to the front without having too much bulk. The reason I don't do another Astaz wrap right in front of the eyes is because we need some room to do 2 more final V-ties. So now taking some more EP fiber, we're just going to go ahead and finish off the fly here with 2 more V-ties. You don't have a lot of room to work with, and we're going to thin down the ties when we get to the front here. But after tying 1 or 2 more V-ties here, we're just going to throw a whip finish, and we can go ahead and take a look at what we got to work with. So now if you do tie it with a sparse enough amount of material, you don't even theoretically need to trim the fly if you get the length of the material right. But what I'm going to do is always a good idea to brush the fly out when we're done. And we're going to go ahead and take our scissors. EP is a great material when it comes to trimming and allowing us to achieve different shapes and profiles. So if you look at a sand flea, they have a very particular shape. They almost look like a little bug, essentially, and they have this round shell and kind of like this oval or oblong shape. So we're just going to trim the fly to simulate that, to best replicate it. And by trimming the top of the shell, quote unquote, here, I'm trying to get a little bit of curve working my way up to that hook from trimming from the hook eye. And then what I like to do is I like to take it and almost trim like a diamond shape. So that way the middle of the fly is the widest, and by the front and the rear it tapers down. So now just take your time, work your way around. You can always use reference photos, right? It's always a good idea if, let's say, you're tying, to pull up a photo on Google Images. Back in the day, you might have had to go to the bookstore, to the library to try and find books. Nowadays, you can just type on Google and look up whatever sort of bait you like and get tons of images. So after trimming for a while now and taking our time, I got it to where I like it, using references of mole crabs and whatnot to get the best shape that I like. You can go ahead and put some head cement on here, some regular hairline dubbing head cement or hard as nails, whatever you prefer, or super glue, and the fly's done. There we go. The Molè Sand Flea Crab Fly. Big shout out to my moderator on Twitch. So shout out to Jin for the name recommendation. And you can see here it's summertime, we're taking the fly and checking it out and see what it looks like in the pond in the backyard. So those brass eyes help get us that up and down jigging motion and allows the fly to sink. If you want a good idea on how to fish these flies, I highly recommend checking out South Fork Salt's channel. He has a certain dance technique that he does when it comes to swimming these flies and jigs. So I highly recommend you checking him out. He's got an awesome channel. Well, thank you again for watching. My name is Mike here from LI Flies Mike. I've been quite busy with tons of work, different fly tying and all sorts of stuff in the background. But we have some more videos planned, and before the end of the month, the next video will be a giveaway video, so check that out. We have new fly tying and fly fishing videos coming out, usually every week, and early access for members. Thanks again for watching. Have a great season out there this year, and tight lines.